A very good afternoon to you and welcome to Lunchtime News, coming to you live and direct from the Newsfirst newsroom here in Colombo. Starting off with headlines, 30 members present affidavits calling for the appointment of Thilina Bandara as the Chief Minister of the Central Province. Body of a man buried alive under Dal found. Manhunt in search of a large-scale drug racketeer underway. Legal action to be taken against the alleged violation of the tender process for route permits along the expressway. Now, stories in detail. 30 Central Provincial Councillors have submitted affidavits to the Governor of the Central Province to appoint Thilina Bandara Thennakoon as a new Chief Minister of the Central Province. UPFA Central Provincial Councillor Thilina Bandara Thennakoon stated that out of those who handed over affidavits, 15 are from the UPFA. Meanwhile, opposition leader of the council, Ranjit Aluvihare, was also present during the handing over of the affidavits. There are 58 seats at the Central Provincial Council. Satheka Naika is the current Chief Minister, and Governor Surangani Ellavala said that the affidavits will be examined and a decision will be taken thereafter. Meanwhile, a body of an individual buried under Dal silo at the Dal splitting and processing factory in Pettivilla, Kalania, was found this morning during a search operation. The individual had fallen into the silo at 8 p.m. on Tuesday night at the Dal factory in Pettivilla, Kalania. Employees at the factory said that the dal from 70 imported containers are stored in one silo. The victim was buried alive under the mounds of dal when a damaged tank collapsed. A search was initiated by the Engineers Regiment of the Sri Lanka Army on the day of the incident, and the victim's body was recovered at 5 this morning. The disease was identified as 24-year-old Udara Harshaka Tilakratna from Monaragala. A lecture on power change and people's challenges was held in Walas Mulla yesterday. Here are the views expressed by General Secretary of the JVP at the event.
We will never get another opportunity like this to abolish the executive presidency for democracy. Therefore, we need to do this now. If someone is obstructing this at this point, he represents autocracy. The Sri Lanka Freedom Party is attempting to do it. Nimal Siripala de Silva is attempting this because their objective is to delay this, citing the electoral system and seeking a public opinion. Their sole objective is to delay this. Let us assume that we go in for a new electoral system. They say that there will be an issue if the wealthy also contest. They will say that goods are being distributed across the district and it is difficult to campaign. Then we go into the single system. That causes double issues. After this, a candidate who distributes goods across the district will be limited to one seat. He will pump all the funds set aside for the district for this electorate. There is an issue that will be there with the change in this electoral system. That is because the political culture in the country has been destroyed.
Constitutional cyanide caps.
It's not a constitutional amendment. Why does anybody call it a constitutional amendment?
The SLFP is at a sort of a crossroads.
Would be an SLFP government.
Inquiries go ahead and come to some sort of an end.
Therefore, we've been very careful as to when Sri Lanka admits the working group on involuntary and enforced disappearance.
Today marks the final day of the 175th edition of the Newsfirst Classroom Workshop, which is being held over 3 days in Haliala, Badulla. The workshop is currently being worked off at the Haliala National School in Badulla.
Concurrent to the program, a leadership seminar was held at the school yesterday. The Newsfirst Classroom Workshop, which enriches students with the knowledge of media, thus transforming them into an educated generation of students, was held centering schools in the Badulla district. Another highlight of the day was when the students paid tribute to their parents, which was held under the auspices of Venerable Vitiyala Kavida Juthera.
ඒ කවි දෙක අහගෙන ඉනකොට මේ අම්මගේ තාත්තගේ හිත රිදෙන දේ නොකර ඒ දෙන්නගේ හිතට සතුටක් ගෙන දෙන
Senior officials of Newsfirst and MTVSports networks were in attendance at the Newsfirst workshop, organised with the objective of enhancing the media literacy and leadership skills among school students. They were extended a warm welcome by the students. Subsequently, the workshop got underway at the school's main hall.
The Geological Survey and Mines Bureau says that investigations will commence today to ascertain the cause of the earth tremor that took place in several areas of the Polonnaruwa district. Speaking to Newsfirst, Director General of the Bureau, Dr. Bernard Prem, stated that the tremor had been recorded at 2.9 on the Richter scale. It was reported that the residents of the Bakamuna, Polonnaruwa, Giritale and Diabetma areas had felt the tremor.
A slight tremor was experienced between 8:29 and 8:30 last night. It measured at 2.9 on the Richter scale. The Richter scale was at 3 in the Bakamun area following the tremor. This tremor did not cause harm. We are planning on assigning a group of experts, including geologists, to carry out an investigation into the tremor. A tremor that was reported yesterday has not caused any harm as of yet. The Geological Survey and Mines Bureau is currently working on the developments of the tremor. The Disaster Management Centre will assist the Bureau if the need arises.
A Pakistani national was arrested at the Bandar Lanka International Airport for being in possession of a stock of white sandalwood last evening. Customs media spokesperson Leslie Garmini stated that the seized stock of white sandalwood weighed 58 kilograms and was valued at 200,000 rupees. The customs spokesperson added that the Pakistani national had attempted to smuggle the stock of white sandalwood to Karachi, Pakistan. In the meantime, 2 elephant tusks that were brought to be sold at 1.6 million rupees in the Kumbukyaya area in Monragala have been seized by the police. The police stated that 4 suspects were also arrested along with the elephant tusks. The raid has been conducted based on a tip-off received by the Atimale Police and the Monragala Crimes Control Unit. A correspondent in the area stated that the elephant tusks were approximately 56 inches in length. The suspects are due to be produced before the Monragala magistrate today. Well, as the big match fever is still on, the 136th big match cricket encounter between Royal College Colombo and St. Thomas's College Mount Lavinia, more commonly known as the Battle of the Blues, is currently underway at the SSC grounds in Colombo.
Royal College won the toss and decided to bat first. The first Royal wicket fell, leaving the total score at 24 when Naveen Vidana Patirana was sent back for 10 runs. The Thomians are led by Helakamal Nanayakara, while the Royalists are led by Harit Samarasinghe. The Battle of the Blues is the second longest uninterrupted schools big match encounter in the world.
Moving back to one of our local stories, convening a media briefing, Northwestern Provincial Council Chief Minister Dasrija Sekara expressed the following views with regard to the issues that have arisen in the education sector.
More than 56 days have lapsed. The Education Minister couldn't talk to the Provincial Education Minister even once. He's in a process to remove the Mahindodaya schools. The Minister forcibly entered a school in my province and removed the name Mahindodaya and replaced it with the Vidyagaraya and walked off.
අධිකාර කියන තියෙන්නේ මගේම කලිසම අගේට ඇඳගෙන උගේ වගේ යනවා කියලා තමයි කියන්න තියෙන්නේ. එතුමාලා කෑ ගැහුවේ පාර්ලිමේන්තුවේ.
You know, they even aired it on Sirius yesterday, how they shouted those days in the parliament. They brought in principals in thousands. This was a similar deed that was done yesterday. The promotions could be sent to their houses. They shouldn't have been brought and made to loiter. This is a provincial council level issue. There's an education minister who hasn't read the 13th Amendment. He should know that education is a provincial issue. No one can interfere in it. I think it is better suited if a more intelligent minister was appointed.
මීට වැඩිය බුද්ධිමත් ඇමතිවරයෙක් පත් කරා නම් හොඳයි කියලා තමයි මට හිතෙන්නේ.
අපි සියලුම කලාප අධ්‍යක්ෂකවරුන්, පළාත් අධ්‍යක්ෂකවරුන්, පළාත් ලේකම්වරුන් අපි
We spoke to all the zonal and provincial educational directors about the education policy. Especially the Chief Minister is enrolling students through a political list to schools. We are being criticised, but we are trying to make this system better. We have decided not to name any school or building by the name of a politician. There is criticism regarding this as well. It can be buildings that we open or buildings that would be opened in the future. We will not name any of it with the names of politicians. They are giving false interpretations that we are removing the Mahindodaya name. We are not removing these names.
අර උගේ වගේ යනවා වැනි කියමන් කියලා තියෙනවා. ඉතින් ඔය කියන දේශපාලඥයාත් මේ ළඟදී තමයි කලිසම ඇඳගත්තේ. ඒ කලිසම ඇඳගෙන දැන් එයාගේ වගේ යනවා.
So that's a wrap of Lunchtime News. Remember to keep abreast with all these stories and much more. You can simply log on to our website www.newsfirst.lk. I'm Stephanie Lazarus. Join us again at 1:55 as we keep you on the know of the latest.